What's up, everybody? So today we're going to be looking at some examples for LA-6. Let's go ahead and just get started. Reminder, these are examples that are representative of your assignment. They are not the questions your assignment is asking, so you need to make sure, I repeat, you need to make sure that you are putting the right variables and asking R to create the right graphs using the right variables. And so it should be pretty easy after following through this video, because you should be able to just swap those variables out for the correct ones. So first things first, install our packages, run it. I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it again. Make sure you have, using install packages, it's in quotations once again. And then go ahead and load your packages, run it. Make sure these are not in quotations. Then, since I am in RStudio, I'm going to set up my working directory. I'm going to run that function. You can do that if you are in RStudio by first navigating to where all of your you downloaded your code books and where you save all your files, which is this folder. And then I'll click the setting wheel and I'll say set as working directory. And then I'll get this nice little function down here, which I can then copy and paste into my R script. Okay, finally, I'm going to set up two data sets, reading assigned to the read.csv function, which is looking at the utility CSV file, in this case for the util, and then for the util codebook, I have assigned this to read the utilities codebook.csv. Both of these .csv files are from Canvas. Cool. So once you do that, you should have these nice data sets in your environment. Now we'll get into question 3. So question 3 is asking us to make a histogram to display the distribution of customers, and in this case of the example, not in the case of your assignment, the customer's average temperature. So how do we find what variable is representative of average temperature? We'll go ahead and come over here and look at our data, particularly codebook. So when we click that, we get this nice little graph. You'll look for the average temperature, and then you'll see it's coded as temp. Make sure when you click this, you click the letters, not the little drop-down arrow. So yeah, cool. So we know we want to put temp in there, so we'll go ahead and just write this function out real quick. It is going to be helpful to look at chapter 5 of Sarah's textbook, which gives us some information on how to create graphs and different scatter plots, in this case a histogram. That's kind of where I got this function from. I just copied and pasted it from Sarah's textbook, and then changed some things out. So first things first, we need to start, like in any time that we use the pipe operator, we pretty much need to start with the data set. Our data set is util. As we can see, it's assigned to the utilities.csv function. Use this nice fancy pipe operator. I would use this one for most of the assignment because it just deals better with more information. Then we are going to use the ggplot function, which is asking R to create a plot of some sort, and then we are going to describe the aesthetics with the aesthetic function, or AES, and inside of that function we are going to assign the x-axis to temperature. We are going to then close both of these functions and then add, using the addition symbol. We're going to then indent to the next line and type in geom histogram, which is asking R to create a histogram following the data we provided it with. So when we run this function, we'll get this nice histogram, and then you can answer the questions associated with that. Make sure you don't use temp and you use what the question 3 is asking for. So the next question, number 4, is asking us to make a scatter plot, displaying, in this case, average temperature. In your case, in the assignment, it's asking for something else, by month. So we can see that we need an X and a Y axis. And then we are graphing this to answer the questions. So again, I just went ahead and copied and pasted this, but then kind of changed some things up. So as you can see, we again start with the utilities data set, or util data set, followed by a pipe operator. We use a ggplot followed by AES, the aesthetics, and then we define the x and the y coordinates. Make sure you just use one equal sign, and make sure you use a comma between these two. And then to create a scatter plot, we need to use the geom point. Yeah. So now when we run this, we should get this nice scatter plot. As we can see, on 6 and 7, we have the highest rates of temperature per month. So I believe the next question, or part B, is asking us to calculate the average temperature of the two highest months using R. So in this case, if we look at the code book, we can see months are coded as a number. So like January is 1, December is 12. In this case, we're looking at the 6th month, which is June, and then also July, the 7th month. So we're going to start with our utility data set, or util. We're going to then run a pipe operator. I opted to use this one, but you can also use this one. We are going to filter for the month to just equal 6, or the month of June, and then we're going to use another pipe operator, and then we're going to ask it to describe the temperature of the month of June. So we got this nice graph, or this nice table, and we can see that the average temperature in June was 69.3 degrees. Following the same suit, we just changed the number in this case. We can find that the average temperature of the month of July was 74.7 degrees, so thus July was higher. Cool? All right, final part, we're going to look at question 8. The question down here is asking us to create a categorical variable called spooky season. Have the variable equal yes if the month is October, and then no if it's any of the other months. So looking at my code, I decided to create a new data set assigned to the previous data set of util, and then I ran a pipe operator, and then I decided to mutate, which is again to create a new variable called spooky season, and then this is assigned to two different cases using the case when function. So if the month is in, so the month again is a variable, and that is these are the numbers that are assigned to months. So if the month is in any of these numbers, we have assigned it to no. So make sure we're using the combine function here, because we have multiple numerical characters assigned to month. Make sure we're using the percentage sign in percentage sign, because this is asking R to create a vector associated with multiple characters in the variable month. And then make sure you run a comma here, put your no in quotations, and then we are going to do this again for month. I have to change this, or just to see, I don't need the combine because I'm just looking at one individual numeric value here, so we don't need the combine function. We're going to assign the month of October, or 11. I guess it should be 10 because October is the 10th month, to yes, and then we are going to close our function. We're closing here mutate and then case when. So when we run that, we're going to get a new data set called seasons. You'll know it created a new variable because there is one additional variable from the last one. And then we are going to use the frequency function starting with our data set that we've created, seasons, and then we are going to look at our new variable called spooky season. And so when we run that, we are going to get a nice little table, and we can see that there are, using this frequency table of spooky season, we can see that there are only 9 bills from the month of October, or the spooky season, and we can see that there are 108 bills from not spooky season. All right, I hope that helped. I know it's fast, but you should be able to get the rest of the questions subbing in either the variables, the type of graph, or the month, or some other value or whatnot. So make sure you have your codebook set up, because this is where you will find your variables. You could read the description. You might want to look at this and this, and you might want to look at this and this and that. For the bonus question, you are going to want to look at this. Important thing to note, when we looked at month was coded as a number, but in this case donation is coded as yes or no. That's the clue I got. If you have any more questions, email me. You know the drill. Thanks y'all for being patient. Yeah, that's it. See you guys.